Yes, because this is fantasy. This is fantasy league. You want to win.
How
do you
much
want to
time have
win,
we
or
got?
do you want to?
I want to win.
I want Liverpool to win more than I want to win fantasy league. I don't buy City players, not because I think they're rivals, but I just don't recognise them, and I'm not even going to go into that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm asking you a question
Let us
which
know.
you should be able to answer, whether Liverpool play Man City or not. You should be able to answer this question like objectively.
So Haaland's now owned by over 80% of fantasy Premier League managers.
Really? Over 80, yeah?
Yeah. Did you see the Man City game?
Well, I didn't see it, but it was like I saw it because I listen on the radio. Normally, my Saturday is really glorious because you get it's fantasy league day, and I listen to all the games on the radio. Like, it's almost better than watching it because the way the commentator describes stuff and says stuff, it's almost like I can see it. And about Bruno Mars, the Wolves manager, and because they got Nuno Espirito Santos has gone, hasn't it? They got Bruno Mars now. That's what he was saying on the radio. Bruno Mars. I think he was a singer before. Bruno Mars, Wolves manager.
All right. Welcome to Top 4 FPL, the Fantasy Premier League show with a difference. And just to be clear, Bruno Mars is not the manager of Wolverhampton Wanderers. It's Bruno Lage.
Bruno Large.
Bruno Lager.
Bruno Lager.
Yeah, no, sorry, I'm really bad. I'm really bad with my managers because, like, Dennis Potter, was it Dennis Potter's gone to Chelsea now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Graham Potter.
Just agree with
Graham Potter.
All right, welcome to Top 4 FPL, the Fantasy Premier League show with a difference.
Join our league.
If you're here and you're liking what we're doing, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and by all means share the video as well. You can do it by clicking that share button and sharing it on Twitter, where you can also follow us. You probably noticed that one of us is missing. Bunny is hopping away in Mallorca at the moment. He's having a well-earned break from his bunny hopping, so he'll be back for our episode on the 28th of September, I think it is, which will be a Spin the Wheel episode for Manager of the Month. Sparky, do you want to show us who the Manager of the Month is?
Let's have a look.
Me. Let it be me.
It can't be you.
It's definitely me. No, it's definitely me because I've been scoring like consistently every week in all my teams, and my lowest score has been like 48 or 46 or 48. That was literally my lowest score.
First, before we get going, we've got a couple of new players. First is like an honourable mention because he's not amongst the top scorers. Zuberi Faruzi. I think that's
Zuberi Faruzi.
He's round about, I think he joined this week in about the 15th position, 16th, 17th. Right. Where is he? There he is, 18th position. Zuberi Faruzi.
Oh, he joined in 18th?
He joined in, I think, in 18th. Oh, no, he's dropped the position already.
Thanks for joining our league. Welcome.
Thank you. And thank you for not posting a high score this week.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thanks for not beating us.
But yeah, so top scorer this week, as we've seen or has been mentioned, is Heralds of Galactus.
Yes.
It's Van Doozl. Top scorer
Galactus
this week. Let's have a look.
The right champions this week. I am so happy about that.
Yeah.
So, Heralds of Galactus is top of the scoring charts this week, and he's got a green arrow, as you can see. But more important than that, he's the Manager of the Month for September, which means he will be spinning the wheel.
Am I fourth?
If you don't know what spinning the wheel is, between the four of us on Top 4 FPL, whoever is the Manager of the Month, they get to spin this wheel. And we have our own rules where you spin the wheel, and if you land on any one of these punishments, you get to choose who you would like to put this punishment on. So you spin the wheel, break my shape.
Unless it lands on reverse power.
Unless it lands on reverse power, exactly, which means it comes back to you. Break my shape is basically you get to choose the formation of the manager, whoever you want to change their shape formation. Don't copy my Nunez. You get to kick out any of the players that he has that are the same as yours. Captain nobody, you can captain anybody on their team. Chip it, make them use a chip. Get rid of him, get rid of one of your players. Buy that guy, make them buy a player. And all of these have different kind of connotations. So if you want to see what happens at the King of the Month, we'll be spinning the wheel when Bunny's back. And that episode will go live on the 28th of September.
That's next week. So if you're watching the program and you want to know what we're talking about, you can actually see it in action on our next program where I'll be spinning the wheel and punishing somebody. Basically whacking them down the ladder.
Let's get to the teams. In top spot, we have Everwood FC by Augustin Nishimiyana. And he joined our league in top position, as you remember. And without saying, obviously, he's got Haaland captained this week. He's, I think, oh no, not his top scorer, but it's interesting because he had Son, which most people have sold. I think Son is on about like a 9% ownership rate.
Wow, he still had Son in his
still
team.
had 10%. That's probably gone up in the last couple of hours, I would say.
Oh, Son's gone to 10%. Oof.
There you go. He's a differentious. He's a differential.
He's a differential. Oh, we got a lot to talk about differentials this week.
That's right. That's
So
right.
actually, last week you were saying James Toney, whose name's not James Toney, it's Ivan Toney, scored one of the best hat-tricks in the Premier League ever. His hat-trick yesterday was amazing. And
definitely, Son's got the best hat-trick so far.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Just beautiful.
It wasn't
Some
right
respect.
foot, left foot.
Yeah.
I mean, the first two goals were two of the best goals of the season. So Son has got the first and second best goal of the season. And the third one went to VAR, which VAR granted him. So that's another thing that happened yesterday is VAR was on the players' side. Last week, it was against the players. Everything was disallowed.
That's right.
This week, it was for the players and everything was allowed. So, wow, I think VAR was happy this week.
Yeah, it took like a flip of a coin, didn't it? Two goals got kind of allowed this week instead of disallowed, which was weird.
Yeah, and I think it was more than 2 goals. I think in the other games, the ones I can remember immediately is the Son goal went to VAR and was allowed. And then it was the penalty, which Lloris saved from Tielemans, and they had to retake it. Yeah. So everyone that had Lloris on their teams was like, yeah.
Oh no. You know what? I was like that, but then I forgot that I sold Lloris. That was me. I was like, yes, he saved it. I was like, oh, but I don't have it. Oh shit.
Yes.
Well, VAR screws up your team one way or another. We had an episode a couple of weeks ago, you can see on our channel, did VAR screw up your team? Because it did a few weeks ago, literally.
So let's get on to top scorer this week. Van Doozl, how are you feeling?
Well, my team. Wow, yeah, this is my team. You know, that score is good, but it's not good enough. Let's just look at the bench. Oh my lord!
After everything you said about Saliba and you said about him before, and you did the same with Dyer in the first week, you Saliba and you subbed him out. Why? Why did you?
Remember, that was last week. That was Bunny. That was Bunny's fault. Remember?
How dare you? How dare you say that? I had him on there. I had him on there. I had the full Saliba on there, Souček on the bench. And then Bunny said, the only thing with your team is I'd change Souček for Saliba, and you backed him up by saying, yeah, I'd make that change. And I'm like, yeah, right, me too. I'm going to do it. All right, I'm going to do it. And I've done it. And look what happened.
I remember last week you said about De Bruyne being a differential as well.
He is. And look at him.
And you captained him.
My captain. He's my captain.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, and I'm so happy with him because he did outscore Haaland as well in the game.
Yes.
And he was only owned by 26.9% of players. Now 32. It's gone up a lot this week. When I bought him, he was on like 25 to 26%.
Yeah.
And that's a differential. Now you watch in 2 weeks' time, 50% are going to have De Bruyne because he's not disappeared just because Haaland is here. He's only got better. Isak, let's talk about Isak, Sparky.
Go.
I copied your Isak, and I blatantly copied Sparky's Isak. Blatantly, I told him I was going to do it. As soon as I saw him buy him, I said, I'm going to buy him too. So I bought him. And look, he got 9. That
We
guy's a
had like a
player.
little
Isak, bargain buy, guys. If you're looking for a
definitely.
bargain striker and and you don't know who to buy, yeah, there's Ivan Toney, but not only Ivan Toney, there's Isak. He's going to score many more goals.
Yeah.
And
Isak's a very good player in terms of ability. He's so calm, so cool on the ball. His work rate is a little bit suspect, but if you get the ball to his feet, I noticed again this game, he doesn't lose the ball. He doesn't give the ball away.
And by the way, this is a free hit, by the way. This is not my team. This is a free hit. It's going to revert back. If you see my team for next week, you're going to see it's not this.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So basically, I'm jealous of my team. I'm so jealous of my team. I'm so jealous. It's a brilliant team, but it's not mine.
Well,
Free hit. That was a free hit, guys.
you were saying I should have used my free hit this week, and I didn't. And I'm not sorry. I've got half the average points.
You've dropped 50. You've handed me 50 points.
I've dropped, but again, this week I was playing a fairly safe bet. I mean, I had Mitrovic as captain, and Fulham go and score 3, and Mitrovic assists one of them. But I think he got an assist. Did he get an assist, or was it a bonus? I don't know, because you got a bonus. No, sorry. What's he got?
No,
I don't think he got anything.
He didn't do anything. Oh, sorry, he's my captain. Yeah, it's
captain.
Captain him. That's why he's on 4 points.
Yesterday.
I'm just surprised to see one of my players with such a high score. That's why.
But he had a couple of shots.
And Ryan Sessegnon started for Spurs, didn't do anything. And the thing is with Sessegnon, which people, I don't know if they noticed, Spurs played with 3 at the back and Sessegnon was playing in midfield. He's always playing further up, but he was actually a midfielder yesterday. Right. Despite that, didn't score or assist, so it didn't help. And Kulusevski got an assist, obviously. And Jesus did well today, but I didn't play my free hit because I'm waiting for the double game weeks, which are going to be coming up. So rather than choosing...
When are the double...
Well, see, this is the thing. I look through actually every week up to the end of the season, and I'm trying to understand how they're figuring out the game weeks.
No, the double game weeks haven't been assigned yet. They haven't been assigned yet.
Yeah, so we don't know when they're going to come.
No, they could be in the second half of the season.
But they are going to come. That's going to happen. At the end of the day, there's lots of games being built up. There's games being postponed this week. There was games, the whole fixture list postponed the previous week. So those are going to come. It could even be like a double game week and a half where you've got some teams playing 3 games, which Klopp's going to be happy about. Let's have a quick look at Sparky's team.
Hey!
Nunez theory.
I was very confident I was going to break like the 70-point barrier this week, but I just didn't see Villa beating Southampton. I didn't see it happening. That was a big disappointment for me. I was quite sure Ward-Prowse was going to get at least like 2 assists in that game.
I told you that was going to happen.
No, I don't believe you.
All right, Villa will beat Southampton.
And then, so that was a big disappointment. Perisic, in defense, got me an assist, but still ended up with 2 points. Like, that is super crap. Like, if there was one,
that is an annoying result, man. They score 6 goals.
I don't understand.
Perisic only gets 2 with an assist. That's mad.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because he got a yellow card, and because and this is a problem we're having now. We're getting these substitutions.
60th minute, I think.
Yes, it's a big issue for me. I'm really hating this thing. It's all Klopp's fault. Damn you, Klopp. Andreas was always going to be a thing. I wasn't counting on him too much. Tete was actually my substitute. He came on for Zinchenko. I don't even know when Zinchenko got injured. See, Zinchenko being playing, that would have been another clean sheet at least. Do you know what I mean? So I'm very disappointed with the score. Nick Pope, I thought in a game like that, he probably would have made like 700 saves or something like that, but he obviously didn't and let in one goal.
I think everybody's got Nick Pope in goal. I think he's the most popular keeper.
See, everybody's copying my Nick Pope. I've had him since the beginning of the season.
Can you just show how many of the people in Fantasy League own Nick Pope? 18.2. That's quite a lot for a keeper, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I only bought him in this week because I played a wild card as well. See, this is not my original team, or nothing, hardly anything like my original team.
I was saying, Sparky's points this week is the exact reason why I didn't want to play a free hit. I've already played my wild card, and I didn't want to play the free hit because he brought in all these players. And last week we were having a debate about, you were saying there's going to be so many high-scoring games, and the only high-scoring game I could see out of those two was Forest and Spurs. You were saying that Newcastle, Bournemouth would be a very high game, 4-4. It was like, well, hang on. There's no way I can see that. I couldn't see Newcastle losing. And Bournemouth have just sacked Scott Parker. They've just brought in a new manager, Gary O'Neill. It's his first
Wow.
game. It's his first game in charge. He's going to tighten that back up. He's no way going to go like renegade and try and win at Newcastle, even though he'd like to. The first thing he's going to do is tighten up that defense. So, who do you bring in that game? Spurs. I already had two Spurs. I already have two Spurs players in my team. Like an idiot, I transferred out Kane, but Kulusevski and Sessegnon. Normally players that you'd expect to get points. They didn't. Well, but yeah, the risk was there that if I did that, and if I did do that, I probably would have got maybe 40 points. So
well, I mean, out of 7 games, 27 goals were scored in 7 games. That's a lot.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, a lot of them were, for me, they were anomalies as well. Like, all 4 of us predicted that either Arsenal would lose or draw that game.
Yeah.
They went.
4 clean sheets.
4
clean sheets.
Smacked Brentford.
Yeah.
So there was a lot went on that none of us could have predicted that we thought, and it went the other way.
Yeah.
What can you do? It's one of them weeks.
But just a word on that, Arsenal today, if everybody that watched that game, if you remember last week, I said I predicted Arsenal to lose 3-0, but I did have a caveat. I said but I had a caveat. I said if Arsenal put in a performance at Brentford, who are on top of their game, with James Toney, who's not James Toney, he's Ivan Toney. And if Arsenal can put down a marker and win by a margin, that will put down some serious like title challenge credentials, in my opinion. And they did it. I wasn't expecting it, but they did it. So
well done, Arsenal.
Yeah, and after the game last season, actually, in this fixture, James Ivan Toney tweeted about how it was a nice game in the park for Brentford when they beat Arsenal in that fixture. And today, Gabriel Maguli's,
Gabriel Maguli's? Who's Gabriel Maguli's?
Gabriel Maguli's, the Arsenal centre-back, Gabriel Maguli's.
Oh, Gabriel.
The one who didn't score.
What, he's got a surname called Maguli's?
But yeah,
I didn't know he had a surname. I thought he was just born unto the earth with the name of Gabriel, and he has no surname. We at Top 4 FPL do not care what one's name is, as long as it's the right name that has big points next to it.
Yeah.
I've used a wild card. If you're going to use your wild card now, which 3 strikers would you pick right now? And if your viewers, you want to write down the best 3 that you would pick right now, write it in the comments section.
Okay, assuming that I would pick a Man City player, which I don't, as you might know from previous episodes, as does not CEO. Yeah,
you have to, though. You can't be biased. This is fantasy football. So if you want to get the highest points, you have to buy the players that score the highest points, not because you don't like their team or you like their team. You can't win like that.
Yeah, that gets into emotional kind of territory. We won't go into that. But if it's going to be, should we?
Yes, because this is fantasy. This is fantasy league. You want to win.
How
do you
much
want to
time
win, or do you want to?
I want to win.
I want Liverpool to win more than I want to win fantasy league. So
okay, so you don't really
exactly.
want to win fantasy
That's
league.
the point.
I can't then be
Yeah.
playing fantasy league and then hoping Haaland scores. It just feels wrong. It's like a onomatopoeia. Is that the right one? Where it's one word, but you're doing the other thing. It's like hypocrisy. It's like I want Liverpool to win, but at the same time, I'm rooting for Haaland to score. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, fantasy league is about the players, really. It's not about the teams. It's about the players. Whichever players, even if that team is losing, the player in that team, for instance, yesterday, Leicester lost 6-2, but if you had Tielemans in your team, you would have got some points. So it's about the players.
Yeah, and I'm sure Leicester fans everywhere who got thrashed at Spurs are feeling happy that they got points for Tielemans in their fantasy Premier League team. It's not happening.
Yeah, whoever had Tielemans in this game would be happy that he scored.
I don't buy City players, not because I think they're rivals, but I just don't recognise them, and I'm not even going to go into that. Because we're unbiased. Manchester United for obvious reasons, and they're the only 2. But assuming I had a Manchester United or a Manchester City player, and we're playing them in a game like we did at Old Trafford, then I had Rashford in my team, and I made him triple captain. There's no way I wouldn't have done, but assuming I had, we've just lost to Manchester United at Old Trafford. Am I going to be happy? Oh, but the consolation is I'm triple captain Rashford. My week is now not fucked up. No, that's not how it works.
No, I totally understand where you're coming from. But if we're looking at it from a fantasy league perspective,
it is a fantasy league perspective. Most fantasy league people I'm guessing I can't. If you, I mean, give us your comments on this.
Let
This
us
is an
know.
interesting topic.
No, well,
Right
I'm
below.
asking
Yeah.
you a question
Let us
which
know.
you should be able to answer whether
just
Liverpool
did.
play Man City or not. You should be able to answer this question like objectively without thinking about that. Which three players are the best
Yeah,
ones that you
from a-
think are to pick? It's a simple question.
Okay.
Whether you like the
Completely
player or not, it
objective
doesn't
point
matter.
of view. Completely objective point of
Yeah.
view. Haaland, Kane, and Gabriel.
Oh,
Jesus,
there you
I'm
go.
talking about.
So I got the
Jesus,
right
yeah.
ones.
That's
And
it.
you,
Yeah,
rock and roll,
100%.
is he right?
He is
Yeah.
right. But if we want to talk
Okay.
about that in the pilot episode, you said what about Haaland?
Yes, I know.
There you go. So
At the
okay.
beginning, but now is at this moment in time. We're talking
At this
about
moment in time, but
Yeah.
then we also talk about we don't follow trends. Well, a lot of people do, as we can obviously
No,
see.
that's not what I was saying. Following the trends, because I wouldn't pick Haaland. I wouldn't pick a player unless I've personally watched him. So I haven't I've seen Haaland's like show reels on YouTube. Oh, Haaland's good and he's scoring lots of goals in Germany, but that's not Premier League. And I specifically said at the beginning,
I
sometimes
know that's what you said, but now you've seen
Yeah,
that he's
strike-
scoring goals, so you picked him.
yes,
And-
but I picked him from the first time I saw him play. From
Yeah,
not from
okay.
him when he started. Yeah,
At
the
the end of
first
the
time I
day,
saw him play.
at the end of the day, you picked him because he's scoring goals. That's all there is to it. No, nothing else. If he wasn't
Yes,
scoring goals,
exactly, yeah.
you wouldn't pick him.
Of course, yeah.
So
That's why you
everybody's
pick him.
following that trend, which is why everybody's got him on captain. They don't even change it. They just leave him on
Yes.
captain every week.
Yes,
So
that's the Ronaldo syndrome.
my point is, yes, Haaland right now is by far away the best player in the Premier League. Just
Yes.
I'd like to see how he plays against Manchester United and how he does against Van Dijk. He hasn't come up against the proper defender, as far as I'm concerned, in the Premier League.
I don't believe he's going to be any different. I think
I
it's gonna
believe
be
he
the
will.
same
I think
thing.
Van Dijk will have him in his pocket, and we'll see during the game.
No.
Let's
Anfield on the
hope.
16th.
I mean,
No, what a game! I can't wait.
I
for that
think
game.
that's going to be the game where Van Dijk's going to give absolutely everything.
Yes.
People have been saying that Liverpool's defense has been a bit sloppy
Okay.
against
yes.
Man City. That's going to change.
Right now, yes, Haaland is amazing, and you definitely pick him. He'll definitely be in the top three. But I still would not pick any Manchester City players because of allegiances to Liverpool and Man United players.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm glad that Lisa you picked Tottenham and Arsenal players then, because then you wouldn't have much choice.
Actually, that brings us on to our next episode. We're going to, as we talked about in the beginning of the show, our next episode is going to be rule changes you would bring to Fantasy Premier League if you could bring them. We're going to be talking about the rule changes that we would like to have, which would make the game more competitive. So join us for that in the next episode. Thanks for joining us on this one. Hit like, hit subscribe. Please share this episode and join our Top 4 FPL League where you can win Gems Match Ball. We keep repeating that.
Join our league.
And we'll see you again in 2 days' time.